Hello again and welcome to this video series on express maintenance work orders. And this video we're going to be looking at it's going to be our first look at the work order data tab, which is going to be in your work order menu, and specifically just a general overview. And we're going to look at the menu functions, general purpose, connectivity to other menus. Let's get started. So how do we get to the work order data tab? So far we have gone over the service overview, the work order overview. Now we're in the work order data. And this is where your end users will spend a majority of their time entering or completing work orders once everything else has been set up. So setup is king. It's important. It makes the end users experience with express maintenance so much better, so much easier, and you're going to get a lot more data entry compliance if you set it up properly. Can't hammer that home enough. But once it's all been set up, it's really easy to use. So the work order data tab, what you're looking at is the work order header, and then you have your work order details down here. You've got your work order number, the unit name, the unit number, site and location, the company that it's assigned to, the scheduled date, start date, complete date of the work. Reference is in reference to a specific work order request. You have category, group, and class, the create, when it was created on, what priority it's been set to, source, requester, work group, technician. You got your labor rate here. This is a burden labor rate that you can apply as a general rule for all. Then you also have your hours. These are actual hours applied to the services. Your current count, which is in reference to, like, if you were working on a vehicle and you could put the current mileage right here. Same thing with an air compressor's hours or an air dryer's hours. If you are performing your preventive maintenance based on counts or hours, then you will want to be updating those counts using these work orders right here. And then you also have total downtime. Below that, you got some work order notes, and then under your details, you have services. These are all of the services that are going to be a part of this work order. In this case, we have a repair of a belt, and then we also have the technician who it's assigned to. We can put in estimated labor hours, actual hours, cost centers, and even more. We won't get into full depth there. Then you have the parts that are required, and then you have some attachments. You can attach the completed copy of the work order. You can attach images. If this is a vendor managed work order, then you can even attach your invoice and have electronic records of all of those things. And then you also have the technician notes. So when it comes to the work order data, the menu functions, what we're looking at is just like on all of them, you have the first, prior, next, and last record. You can also enter a brand new work order here, and we'll get into that in the next video. You can delete records if you are given permission to do that. I can search by work order number here. I also have advanced search options, which is just going to take me to the work order overview. It's going to show me all the ways in which I can search for work orders there using the filters. And then I see that I'm on record 8 of 19. That's specifically referring to the number of work orders that I have showing here under my work order overview. Okay, so I'm looking at one of the work orders in the work order overview. If I was to search for a work order by work order number, it would say 1 of 1. But because I referenced this work order from the work order overview, it shows me 8 of 19. I can use this complete entire work order button if honestly, we don't recommend that you use this, but there are some ways in some instances where this can be a good idea. But if I have added my part, and let's just say this requires a belt, type in belt, it's going to limit everything that doesn't have the word belt in it, and let's just say it's this one. I need 1 belt. And then I go to services, and I put in my actual hours here of, we'll just say 2, and then that's all I have to do. I can use this function right here to complete the entire work order, and it's going to mark the parts complete. It's also going to mark this service complete, and it's going to enter the perform date, and then it's also going to give me a start and completed time. Okay, now I personally think that's a little lazy. I think if you really want to be able to report on some standard KPIs like mean time to repair, you have your response time, you have your actual labor time, those details are going to be necessary. And it can also get pretty complacent using that, but it's there. It's an option for you. Some people love it, but I find that those that use it honestly aren't really tracking their KPIs very closely, and I think you're losing a lot of money if you're not doing that. So then next to that, we have our import from CSV. Just like in the work order overview, you can import work orders from other systems. I can view in the calendar view the work orders that I have up here. I can email this selected work order. I can print the selected work order. I can also print all flagged work orders. And of course, you have the help function, which takes you to the help web page. Okay, so what's the general purpose of your work orders? The work order data tab and menu is that you would be able to enter or complete work orders, and that you would be able to associate parts. By associating parts, you are reducing that parts quantity on hand by the number of quantity that you put in here. And it's important to note that if I go to enter a new part, I can't type in a part that's never existed before. Okay, it's only going to allow me to pick from parts that are currently in the system. Okay, and all it takes is if you don't have a part there, you just simply click on the parts inventory. It'll load that parts inventory screen, add a new part, and then go back to the work order and then pick it from there. It's really simple. Then if you then under your services, this is where you're keeping track of all of the services that are for this work order. You can have it one or as many as you want. If this was a work order that you would use for like a rebuild, you could have all of the different services listed and all of them completed with different technicians and jobs and requirements and all of that on one work order. So keep that in mind. And so once the general purpose here being able to enter and complete work orders, if it's a PM, of course, it's coming from the service overview, and we just did a full video on that, how to convert services into work orders. But then if you're just entering a work order, we'll demonstrate that in another video, but you can enter demand work orders here as well. And then you also have the ability to connect the work order to other menus. Like if you wanted to see this work order and associated POs, I would just simply go over to the work order overview for this work order and then see what other POs are available with that. So that is the work order data general overview. Look forward to seeing you in future videos.